don't need wings to fly. Look at the history of man. From prehistoric time to nowadays, we want to explore our world, to fly away. I am discovering, conquering a new world, a world that is actually no man's land. It is dangerous, yes, if I miss the wire, I am not here anymore, but it's so simple, so beautifully simple, the left, the right, the center, the balance. It's the essence of life.
These are the towers of New York's World Trade Center. They are 1,350 feet high, and this morning, a young Frenchman named Philippe Petit, an accomplished aerialist, walked a tight wire from tower to tower. Petit had no net beneath him. Later in the day, a judge sentenced Petit.
It was unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. It was amazing. It was scary. It was a very heightened sense of adrenaline rush. It was wild. I mean, every adjective you could think of that's beyond your normal day affair. That's what that adjective was running through my body at the time. You know, it was very intense. About a quarter of a mile up, 135 feet across, and to see him go back and forth and back and forth and lay down, kneel, do a U-turn, all these things. It was very insane.
I think he's nuts. How can anybody walk between the Trade Center? They'd have to have a ladder. They'd have to have something to brace them. How do you do it?
How I did it? It's the same question as how did you do that perfect murder? I mean, you know, I didn't kill anyone. It was an artistic crime. I did it by working on it. I had planned it, like one planned a bank robbery. The first time I saw this building, I looked up to the two most giant structures in the world, and my thought was, it's impossible. What I want to do is clearly, simply impossible. So I started to work on it. I hardly spoke English. I had no money at all. I didn't know this country. I didn't know this city. I actually knew no one when I came here. And I managed to bring almost a ton of equipment here secretly. I had to do the whole rigging crouching under this level, like this, not to be seen by the highest level over there. It had to be done without sound, without light. In the middle of the night, you're putting a wire, you have absolutely no light, no sound. I was rigging like crazy all night. And now, in the morning, it was time that the workers will start appearing on the roof, and the crime had to be performed or else abandoned. So at 7:15, I stepped on the wire.
My job is at the top of the building at that time. I come out of the subway by 8 in the morning, and I see all these police emergency trucks here, and I look up and I see this fella on a wire between the towers. I couldn't believe it. Out there, 1,200 foot above the ground. It was marvelous. Drove the people in the building crazy, of course, because it's against the law to do that, you know. Of course, we told him that when he's out on the wire. Come off there. This is against the law, you know. But of course, everybody changed their attitude after a while. It was against the law, but it was a magnificent thing he did.
Police took a humorless view of the act. They took Petit and a companion into custody and finally decided to charge them with disorderly conduct and trespassing and carted them off to a local precinct station.
I have danced between the highest towers that man has created, and I get handcuffed. You know, they could do anything they want. After that, they could have, you know, cut my head. So what? I was still on my wire. I was still up there. We need to build roads and schools and hospitals and give food to people, but equally important, we need to make them realize that imagination is limitless, that they can move mountains. What I do is seemingly useless, but actually is an inspiration. Looking up is flying your own way. People who don't have wings, they can fly by looking up. Sadly enough, I seem to be the only man walking on high wires these days. At the start, I did many illegal walks. There was the Cathedral of Notre Dame, in 1971, illegal walk. For the first time, I was 80 yards in the sky. I became a wire walker that day. I also ended up in jail. In 1973, I put a high wire illegally between the pylons of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the largest steel bridge on Earth. And here the police comes to put the traffic back, and they try to do so by cutting my wire. Then I had to escape death, barely. Of course, more and more, most of the time I'm being invited to put my wire officially. The mayor of Jerusalem invited me to do a giant walk to open the Israel festival over Jerusalem. And I link actually the Arab and the Israeli part there. And the largest, grandest walk of my life for the bicentennial of the French Revolution, an inclined 800 yards walk over the River Seine to the second story of the Eiffel Tower. And now, my next project, Saillon. Saillon is a tiny village in Switzerland, wine-growing village in the Alps. There was a famous figure there, an outlaw, a kind of Robin Hood. His name is Farinet, and he died very mysteriously over 100 years ago. Today, his legend is kept alive by another crazy man, Pascal Thur. Pascal looks after the medieval dungeon where Farinet hid from the police and where he had his coin machine. He minted fake money and gave it away to the poor. So to the people of Saillon, this Farinet is a great hero, is a symbol of liberty. And they remember him today with the best thing they have, wine. The smallest registered vineyard in the world is dedicated to Farinet. So every year, at the time of grape harvest, Pascal puts on a big event, something daring, bold, to bring Farinet back to life.
C'est extraordinaire, c'est impensable, ça frôle l'impossible. Mais le rêve, c'était de relier une fois cette tour à la plus petite vigne du monde. C'est extraordinaire. Mais il faudrait tirer un câble de la tour jusqu'à la vigne et passer dessus. Alors on a lancé un défi à tous les cirques. Dans tous les cirques, on a écrit, interrogé, téléphoné, tout le monde nous a dit, il n'y a qu'un homme qui peut faire ça, Philippe Petit. À Monte-Carlo, Bouglione, Cuny, Dimitri nous ont dit, Philippe Petit, Philippe Petit.
My first reaction was, this is a joke, I'm busy. And then I say, who is Farinet? What is the smallest vineyard in the world?
Farinet, c'est un bandit.
He was an amazing character, some kind of Robin Hood.
Il a vécu dans le Val d'Oise.
Anyway, he was a crazy man. And he was a man who broke the rules and who knew that life was made to be lived. And I felt, of course, very close to such a man. So my reaction was, I'll do it for free.
Vive la liberté!
La I am looking to control every step of the process. It's a work of principle first. You need 2 anchor points, you need a tensioning device, you need a cable, but then it becomes a matter of details. And those details added to each other are what webs a very strong net under my wire. I don't have a net, but I have a psychological net made of details. And I have become a madman of details. And that's why I'm alive in front of you today, I believe. My main concern is grease. We must clean the cable. So we ask volunteers from the village, and by hand, we're going to clean the entire cable, so there's no grease left. If there is grease, you are going to slide on it. So it's as simple as that. So, but that is survival, not details.
Hey, vas-y. Ok, moi je suis prêt. Ok, ensuite, tu reviens vite ici. Manu, t'as qu'à l'appeler Manu.
So the walk across this valley will be 325 feet high and 813 feet across. That's about 250 meters. It's a big walk. It's a big project.
I think it's too much tension. Hey, moi si c'était toi, je m'arrêterais là. Il y a 10 fois trop de tension là. Il faut pas que ça touche la vie. Avec une flèche pareille, tu peux pas continuer à tirer. Il faut qu'il donne et qu'il tire.
Oh, nice. Okay. I am building a bridge. A bridge for one day.
Ah, it's perfect.
A real bridge, and no mistakes are allowed. Every nuts and bolts, as Americans say, you know, is part of holding my life on that wire. It's my life there. I have played for the audience of all kinds, for the Masai Mara in Kenya, in a city like New York, in Paris. I need very little to live. I have survived and lived, sometimes very well, as a street juggler. I started as 2 people in one. One is a street juggler and the other is a wire walker. But actually around that, gluing those 2 characters was myriads of things, as you know, drawing, writing, and many passions.
So who taught you to juggle?
I learned by myself. Like I learned by myself everything I did, the juggling, the pickpocket, the high wire, the writing. I was a bad kid. My parents were frightened to death to see the 4-year-old kid to do, to climb on whatever was available. And do more than that. I mean, cross rivers on ropes. I was an absolute outlaw. Any law, even the laws of nature. I mean, gravity is a serious matter, you know. I live all over the world, but my base, my heart, my home is in New York. the Cathedral St. John the Divine. The first time I came in this cathedral, 1980, I was like a kid in a candy store. I mean, I didn't know where to look, what to touch. I fell in love with that space, with its immensity, its mystery. And I wanted to discover that space. If you want to climb somewhere to look, then climb. Don't go and ask, because you know the answer will be, oh, you cannot climb. So being on the nave was not enough. I had to climb everywhere. And I went up and down, and I looked in the crypt and in the vault. I was a child in paradise. There was something started between this cathedral and myself that had to be in some way finished. So I did it. A surprise walk. The guards saw me up there on the wire and they called the police, which is totally right to do. They didn't know what was happening. And the police had handcuffed me and were going to arrest me. And the dean of the cathedral, Dean James Sparks Morton.
I walked in and I saw the wire, but I didn't see Philippe. But then a couple of minutes later, there appeared Philippe, but down on the, the ground here, but in handcuffs with a policeman. And so I went up and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "He was trespassing." I said, "No, he wasn't. He belongs here. He's an artist. Take his handcuffs off." And so they did. And it was as simple as that. And it was after that that he, in fact, became an artist in residence, and he's done, I can't remember how many walks now, lots of walks here. High wire walking and cathedrals are sort of two sides of the same coin. It's a tradition. All you have to do is look in medieval manuscripts, and you see towers, and you see wire walkers. It's one of these tremendous moments in which everything is in the balance. It's life and death, and it's heaven and hell. So it's a great offering. The cathedral is stone, but a wire walker is a cathedral in motion.
Very nice. You look like an angel.
Fabulous.
Beautiful, beautiful walk.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. Were you praying at all?
Oh, well, it's a matter of faith, so,
Of
you know.
course, of course.
To whom should I put it?
Sally?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes?
Superb.
Did you look at the show?
Yeah, I looked at the show. Yeah, absolutely.
But what does wire walking have to do with religion, with faith? I mean,
With faith?
Well, it is faith. I mean,
there is a certain
we
amount of
both-
faith in this place
we
tonight,
both
right?
use the same words. And I wouldn't be able to walk on that wire if I was not sure before the first step to do the last step. And that's called faith as well. It's very close to actually the religious faith. Or maybe it is the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I belong to this church.
You know, just by doing that doesn't mean that you're being religious. Tonight was absolute quiet. It was, people were riveted in this experience. And that is extraordinary. That's very religious. Everybody was one with you and with each other.
Could you hold that for a second? Thank you.
Voilà, c'est bon. Non, non, stop. Recule un petit peu. C'est bon, Luc, c'est bon. Montre-moi à partir du centre. The balancing pole is not the right length and the right weight. I need to drive it like you drive a car, okay? You don't really know what's happening. You're constantly moving it. It becomes natural. This pole is not feeling good, so I am going to change it a bit, do a little cooking. Ouais, un petit peu ici, là, parce qu'il faut que ça rentre dans le manchon. Un peu plus bas. Sur le doigt. It's perfect. Thank you. Voilà. Attention, attention, balancier. Ah, incroyable. Ah, formidable. C'est parfait. Ok, ça devient déjà bien. Yeah, it's nice. Alors, à votre santé.
Santé.
D'accord, alors, santé.
J'ai dit mes santé.
The cable is like a guitar string. It carries vibration. Right now, if I were to walk on this cable, it will be suicide. Absolutely. I would walk 10, 15 feet, and I will be thrown off the cable by the vibration that I would have generated on the cable. Look. And when I walk, that vibration travels the entire length of the cable, wong, 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 like this, and comes back to me. You see? And my finger is not moving, and look at the cable, you see? This little jerk like this, it will throw me off it. So this knot is holding like a hand the cable, and those ropes are preventing or actually reducing the vibrations. Imagine, of course, a rope much bigger than this twine, but the principle is the same. I put them on the cable at regular intervals, reaching the grounds. So that will take me 4 days, intense days of work. I will work until actually a few hours before the show, and then the cable will be ready. Fais gaffe à sa ceinture, Anna. Les serre-bras vraiment bien, là. Et regarde ici, hein. Regarde. C'est comme ça.
Relevez le panier. Le panier, c'est ça. On va remonter. You must be a little bit crazy, a little bit. Not a little bit, you must be crazy to do that with no security. He is crazy. If we fall, he have nothing. I was thinking that he have some security on the shoes or on the body, but he have no security. If he fall, he's dead.
I cannot fall off the wire. I am on the wire in such a solid state that, yes, I can sprain my ankle on the path downstairs. Yes, I can be pushed by a truck because I forgot to look left and right when I cross the street. But on the wire, nothing can move me off the wire. So I don't have any reason to be fearing of something that cannot happen. It is right that the world of the wire walker is framed by losing your life. The wire walker who falls has what he deserves.
Carl Wallenda, the oldest of the famous high wire walkers, was 73 years old when today, a wind stronger than he pulled him off the high wire to his death.
This is Carl Wallenda's final performance. At 73, a high wire walk 10 stories up to promote a circus appearance with his granddaughter. The patriarch of the great Wallendas was best known for the creation of their three-level human pyramid. It was also their most dangerous act. This happened in practice. In 1962, the pyramid collapsed for real. 2 were killed and an adopted son crippled for life. Despite it all, Wallenda told interviewers he was not afraid.
24 hours later, I was up on the wire with a broken pelvis bone.
When the wind grew stronger at the promotional walk in San Juan today, Wallenda began to shake. Some of those who worked with Wallenda shouted for him to sit down. He tried.
Familiares para que se controlen. Ahí se Señor, hemos visto una de las cuestiones más difíciles y más tristes en nuestra vida.
Friends had urged him to quit, but Wallenda said never. That being up there was everything. That the rest of his life was just time to fill in between his act. Gerald Harrington, NBC News.
How can you get off the wire? You can't, you should not, you must not. It's not an accident, it's because your mind was not there, or it's because you didn't check some line, or it's because you let people go underneath you, or something like that. So you've got what you deserve.
Okay, on est en place.
Alain, the wind is starting, so work as fast as you can.
Ouais.
Tire. Mais il se roule. C'est pas grave, c'est pas grave.
Avis à la population, Philippe Petit, le plus grave des petits, va traverser par le ciel de la tour Bayard à la colline à Farinay à 11h pile.
I have created a simple theater piece. The show starts 100 years back when Farinay was being pursued by the police. Farinay is trapped by policemen at the top of the tower. His only escape is this wire that he discovers. He's not a wire walker, but he will learn out of saving his life. wind. The wind is the enemy of the wire walker. Too much wind, simply, you would not put your feet on a cable if you are sane. Should I delay the show and let the wind pass? At some point, you have to decide. At some point, I am facing the wire, and I have to decide to start the show, to walk on that wire. The first step is a point of no return. The exposure on the wire is what drains you. That's where your courage and your ability have to exist. Man is not made to fight the winds. What I feel on the wire is a turmoil, a tempest. You see the wire breathing, it's always moving. The wire is alive, living in the same way that the bull is a living animal in front of the bullfighter. You want to survive. You want to get on the other side. I feel very, very happy. Yeah, I was a bit happier up there, but you know, you have to go back on Earth sometimes.
Vive la liberté!
I need to maybe take a 3-minute shower and maybe sleep 20 hours, which I have not done in 3 months now. And after that, we'll start dreaming again.